With a market value of 180 million euros, Kylian Mbappé is without a doubt the most expensive footballer in the world. But he is certainly also one of the best strikers on the planet, a real game changer, as they say in America, capable of turning the tide of a match. At just 24 years old, the young French-Cameroonian has already shown incredible but true athletic abilities like his sprint, which surpasses that of Usain Bolt, considered the fastest man in the world. Kylian Mbappé is well on his way to shattering other records to the delight of his millions of fans around the world. Fans who want to know everything about their dear idol and whose dream would be to live the daily life of the PSG star. So, if you are like them, you can already rejoice, because in this video, we will make you live a day in the life of Mbappé, exactly as if you were with him. Even if he did not win the World Cup, Kylian Mbappé returned from Qatar with the coveted trophy of the best scorer of the competition with 8 goals. However, the native of Bondy did not really hide his disappointment of not having won the cup, and even the French president Emmanuel Macron did not know how to console him despite his little and very funny jokes. Because it should be known that in the vocabulary of Kylian Mbappé, the two words impossible and defeat simply do not exist. The Bondinals has lived all his life with a champion mentality. Humble, but always determined and flexible while being extremely robust. Kylian Mbappé was raised in a family of sportsmen. Faiza, the mother, a former handball player, and Wilfred, the father, an ex-glory of Cameroonian soccer. He was therefore inoculated with the football virus at a very early age. So much so that we can say that he literally grew up with a ball in his feet. His immense talent in soccer will not have escaped anyone, and certainly not his dear father, who knew that his son was a real gem. A former professional footballer reconverted into a trainer, he decided to devote himself entirely to his son, with the hope of seeing him break through one day. You will easily understand the mentality of the young Kylian when you understand that of his father. After playing in Yaoundé and showing impressive qualities, he had to resign himself to the fact that his talent had been wasted. And this is certainly not what he wanted for his little son. And you will also understand that the daily life of the little Mbappé revolved around one thing and one thing only: soccer. It had become his only passion, even to the point of worrying his own father, who had done everything to achieve this result. The old Wilfred could not believe how much he had succeeded in making his son a soccer lover. Imagine for a moment this poor old man who sees his son using a ball as a pillow to be able to sleep, or who is watching 5 or 6 games in a row on TV. Obsessed with soccer and possessing a talent that was only waiting to be exploited, the young Kylian will end his career at AS Monaco, a prestigious club where he will make his mark and reveal himself to the world. From there, he will join Paris Saint-Germain and its bevy of superstars, while winning the 2018 World Cup in the process. Since then, Kylian Mbappé has not stopped to break the counters, with feats, records, and achievements all more breathtaking than the others. He will be remembered for a long time as the only player in the history of the French championship to finish as top scorer and top passer in one season. Indeed, the 24-year-old striker had managed to score 28 goals and make 17 assists with PSG during the 2021-2022 season. Mbappé actually broke an even more grandiose record that year, becoming France's top scorer in a calendar year in the 21st century with no less than 51 goals. But wait, it's not over. Kylian Mbappé was also Best Player of the Month in Ligue 1 7 times. No way to compete with him, as Mbappé is currently the top active scorer in the French league. But financially also Mbappé has broken records, and not the least. Because with emoluments of 75 million euros per year, he has been the best paid footballer on the planet for the last 6 months. The Bondinois has just been surpassed by Cristiano Ronaldo, who signed a pharaonic contract of 200 million euros per year with the Saudi club Al Nassr. However, this does not change the fact that the star of Paris Saint-Germain is now rich as crushes, with a wealth that would amount to some $150 million. And as the footballer has just blown out his 24th candle, we can definitely say that he still has a lot of time ahead of him to make his fortune grow. Because you may not know it yet, but Mbappe is as good at business as he is at soccer. Wearing the hat of an entrepreneur, the native of Bondi is at the head of a real financial empire, which goes from ready-to-wear and accessories to the publication of comics through real estate or audio-visual. Kylian Mbappé is a real jack of all trades who certainly doesn't lack energy, and as you can see, he wears the businessman suit to perfection. However, despite his busy schedule, the Bondinois still manages to balance his career as a professional footballer with that of an accomplished businessman. You would be surprised to know that the undisputed star of PSG also has hobbies like you and me, and that he still manages to reconcile with the hellish pace that is his. Because off the field, Kylian Mbappé also likes to have fun with his family and friends, which is quite normal for a young person of his age. And once again, you will be totally surprised to see the kind of hobbies which this young prodigy of the football is engaged in. You who wanted to live one day in the skin of Mbappé, you will be very satisfied, because we will dive immediately and without further delay inside the small bubble of the young footballer. You will have understood it. To keep such a sporting level and to be able to realize always more exploits, the Bondinois trains a lot, and not any training, please. Mbappe's daily routine consists in getting up almost every day at dawn in order to breathe a good, fresh and invigorating breath of air. The young Kylian then goes out for a short jog of 5 or 6 kilometers to stretch his legs a little and to be able to attack the serious things. Because to maintain his advantageous physique, Mbappé must undergo a few hours of weight training almost daily, with intensive programs that would not shame the greatest bodybuilders. The Bondinois makes work with force, the top of his body, torturing his biceps, his trapezoids, and his shoulders in intense sessions and physical effort. But of course, his powerful legs will have to bear the brunt of the weight, as their formidable musculature must be constantly maintained. It is the feet of Mbappé that allow him to beat Usain Bolt in the sprint and to send cannonballs in the opposing goals. So you can imagine their importance for the young player. Mbappé trains sparingly, sparing no effort, but being very careful not to injure himself during his sessions. And after the effort, here is the comfort, because the PSG star must finally sit down to enjoy his first meal of the day. A good breakfast, very copious, and that will certainly make your mouth water. You believed it, didn't you? Well, no, because even if he is fortunately not vegan, Kylian Mbappé has to follow a diet ultra-refined and very healthy, but which is greatly likely not to please you. And this is really the least we can say. Judge by yourself. On the table of this dear Mbappé are only 2 plates with the aspect very little festive nor gargantuan. In one of these bowls, you have hard-boiled eggs with avocado or almond butter with a bland color and whose taste would not please your little taste buds. And in the other plate, you find what seems to be a porridge of something, maybe oatmeal or muesli, who knows? In any case, nobody will want to taste it to know what it is. After this minimalist meal, the Bondinois will have a small snack that is not more copious nor more greedy, a small protein bar. For lunch, Mbappé will have a small sandwich with tuna or chicken very lean, and a salad with lots of lettuce, which will be followed by a protein shake or dried fruit to accompany the evening snack. And finally, for dinner, the PSG star will have to be satisfied with a small plate of brown rice with a little fish and some vegetables. The young footballer will nevertheless be able to console himself with a small snack, where he will have the right to a vitamin shake. Although, this is a very meager consolation. With such a frugal diet, it is clear that poor Kylian Mbappé does not give his heart to joy when he is forced to go to the table. But what do you want? Because to keep his Olympic shape and his body of accomplished athlete, the young player of 24 years must submit to this kind of diet. So forget about McDonald's, kebabs, or triple mozzarella pizzas with your buddies and make way for a healthy diet. But these are not the only sacrifices that the young Kylian must concede, because he must also banish all sweets from his existence. Yes, the poor player can't even enjoy pistachio or nougat ice cream like anyone else. And there is no question of chocolate treats, except perhaps if it is 90% dark chocolate, so bitter and tasteless that it looks like a fuel oil in a bar. In short, you will have understood that Kylian Mbappe's gastronomic daily life is not very pleasing. But what about his other activities that punctuate his days? Well, you know, the poor young footballer didn't really have time to have a normal childhood, nor a teenage one for that matter. He says it himself, not without an ounce of regret, that he didn't have to live like the other kids of his age, and that he didn't have to do the same stupid things. Mbappe wants to make up for it today and be able to emancipate himself from his parents and have a little more freedom. But with his busy schedule between games and training session with PSG, the Bondenoise does not really have the opportunity to party with his friends, despite those who would or could believe the contrary. And if before it was Neymar Jr. who was Mbappe's sidekick, today the Bondenoise is buddy-buddy with Achraf Hakimi, with whom he hangs out all day long, on the pitch as on the pavement. A very particular friendship indeed unites the two young people, and its flame is certainly not near to die out. The two PSG friends have just come back from vacations, after some beautiful sunny days spent in Marrakesh. Now that they are back in the Parisian grayness, let's bet that these two inseparables will light up the Ligue 1 with their warm complicity and their immense soccer talents. Now, tell us in the comments what you think about the totally off-the-beaten-path journey of young Kylian Mbappe and his wild daily life. Don't forget to subscribe and click here to watch another of our videos.